Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Liam's Daily Reviews here at Northam's Haunted Book Factory. I'm very excited today. I get to talk about one of my favourite genres and one of my favourite writers, the science fiction genre, and my, let's say second favourite science fiction author after Ray Bradbury is John Wyndham, and we're going to be talking about the Midwich Cuckoos. I read this book this year. I've wanted to read it ever since I saw the 90s version of the movie, even though there has been a 60s version of the book that came out, and John Carpenter directed the one I saw in 1995. Now I prefer the 60s one, but at the time I really liked the 1995 one with Christopher Reeve and Kirstie Alley. But the book is the highlight. The book is fantastic. John Wyndham and his science fiction is absolutely fantastic. I'd say it's my favourite John Wyndham book. Day of the Triffids is very good, and that will get its own review one day. Chocky is a really good book, and that will also get its own review one day. But today is the Midwich Cuckoos. It was written in 1957, and it is the story of a town called Midwich, a small English town. And a husband and wife are out celebrating their birthday one day. They're not in town, they're actually out of town. And when they come back to their hometown, they realize that it's been blocked off by policemen and eventually the military, because everyone in the town seems to have mysteriously passed out unconscious. Everybody. And if you take one step over the town line into Midwich, you too fall completely unconscious. So this husband and wife, they don't really understand what's going on. Well, nobody does at that time. So they sneak around, they jump a fence, and they run across a field only to pass completely out. Now, everybody wakes up, and when they wake up, everything just seems to be normal, except that the women in the town are pregnant. And so I'll just get straight to the point. There's no worry about spoilers today, because this book is, 72 years old, I think. Yeah. 72 years old, something like that. So, you're allowed to spoil a book that's been out that long. So, it's an alien race, a parasitic alien race of a brood that has impregnated the women of this town. And they all give birth at exactly the same time to these fair-haired, strangely golden coloured eyed children. Now in the movie they're these bright blue eyed children, but in the book they're golden eyed, and they seem to have powers. They seem to have telekinetic powers. They're completely in tune with each other. They read each other's thoughts, and if one has one thought on one side of the town, the other has the same thought, and then eventually they have telekinesis and they can make human beings do things. They can bend them to their will. Now, this has been parodied by The Simpsons as well, a really cool episode called The Bloodening, which is absolutely hilarious. So it's been parodied on many levels. But yeah, the original source material is just fantastic, and it's a lot of fun. There is a character called Zellaby, Professor Zellaby, and he's a very smart man. And he eventually starts to discover things about these children as he studies them. And he discovers a theory, which is the title of the book, The Midwich Cuckoos. Because the cuckoo bird, what it does is it lays its eggs in another bird's nest and allows that mother bird to raise its young for it. And that's what these aliens have done. They've laid their eggs. They've left their brood in the town of Midwich for Midwich to raise. And who knows, when they become fully grown, who knows what they are going to be capable of? Who knows what kind of alien creatures they're going to turn into? So it's really good. Eventually, the children get so sort of scary and defensive, they attack someone in the town and kill somebody. And so someone tries to run them down in a car, and he gets killed. And so this sort of blood feud is starting. So it's starting to get a lot more dangerous, a lot more scary. It's not a very long book. It's only, a couple of 100 pages plus long. And so this blood feud's going on, and eventually one of the main characters, the husband I believe it is, he starts to talk to a military friend of his, and they get let in on a secret. Apparently Midwich isn't the only place this has happened to. It's happened all around the world, and a lot of the broods have died off. And Russia was one of the last ones to have a brood of alien children, They just nuked the entire town from the air. That solved that problem because the children can't read minds from that close. So yeah, so they made a military decision and blew it off the map. So it's probably going to happen to Midwich if they don't sort something out. So now when people try to leave the town, there's a child stationed at every part of the border that leaves the town of Midwich. And you'll start driving, and all of a sudden you'll just find yourself driving back home, and you'll not have left, and you'll be walking in your door with your keys going, hang on a second, wasn't I leaving? It's like they don't let you leave. The main character even gets out of his car and approaches the children and goes, hey, come on now, that's enough, I want to go do shopping outside of town. They're like, we're afraid we can't let you leave. So they don't get to leave. The kids have complete control. So Zellaby comes up with something really cool. He's such a strong, powerful mind. He manages to get the kids all in one place, and he's going to show them some movies, and they're going to discuss their intelligence because they're just as intelligent, if not more intelligent than him. And then as the husband, our main character guy, goes home and he's wondering what they're going to do, bang, there's this huge explosion because the Professor Zellaby, has been stockpiling explosives in that building, and he just blows the children all to bits. Now, all through the book, he's been saying how we can't kill them. You know, they are what they are. The situation is what it is. We can't just think, oh, well, it's us or them. You know, we have to try to find a way to sort this out, but we can't just kill them. And yet he's the one at the last minute that takes the sacrifice, blows himself up and them to save everyone else. And he's left a note. And on the note says something really cool. It says, if you want to keep alive in the jungle, live as the jungle does. So even he at the end realized that survival is, you know, it came down to survival. It was either them or us. And so he did. So he blew them all up, and it pretty much ends right there. And I love the book. I smashed it in like a day and a half, and it's probably my favorite John Wyndham book. So yeah, I definitely read The Midwich Cuckoos by John Wyndham. Tomorrow, I'm not sure. Once again, I think I'm going to just sleep on it and think about what I'm going to review tomorrow. So sit tight, and please subscribe and like. And if you want me to review a book, leave it in the comment section below. Take care of one another and read some really good books. See ya.